So basically, one of the things that I always get questions from the customers is, I'm ready to migrate and I want to migrate to Azure, but how do I get really good confidence that I can migrate and then I'll get really good, performance that is kind of I expect or equivalent to, what I'm seeing in the on-premises environment. How do I really validate the performance even before I really schedule a production migration, right? That's one question that I get. They also ask us, we need to do all this is functional testing. Functional testing, you cannot replace it.
Yeah.
That's a very critical aspect.
Absolutely.
I have a number of customers who ran into performance issues and as well as the functional issues as soon as they finish their migrations.
Okay.
It is because that that work hasn't been done.
Yeah.
So it's very critical to do the functional testing and as well as the performance validations as well. To make the life easy, we have a tool called Database Experimentation Assistant tool, which I'm going to talk.
Experimentation
Assistant tool.
DEA.
DEA. So
Okay.
I'm going to talk about that. Before I go there, I just want to, give some insights into how that tool is going to look like. Basically, how do we really optimize the workload or the databases to really respond to your workload, right? And then I'm going to give a demo how you can really use the DEA to validate that experience, basically, right? Remember yesterday we talked about the very first step are doing the assessment of the databases and as well as to find out the right target and as well as the right target size. Yes. We call that as the SKU recommendations, right? I recommend customers to use DMA to do the SKU recommendations. That way you at least know this is my start point. Once you figure out that this is my target SKU, then you do the migration and do the performance validation using the DEA.
Okay.
Then you can decide on what target you want to go and then what size that you want to really configure to really meet the performance requirements that your applications really need. And then you do schedule the production migrations. So that's kind of a workflow that we have, right? Let's talk about DEA now. So you have your on-premises SQL Server, which is running production today.
Yes.
What you are going to be doing is you are going to be capturing the workload from it at first using multiple technologies. You can use SQL Server traces or you can use extended events as well.
Okay.
So either of these you can capture the traces from the SQL Server, and then the trace should represent a real peak load of your environment. Otherwise, you will not really get the right.
So the scenario is you already ran the whole SKU recommendation. Everything is running in production for a couple of days, and now you're
yes, and you do a test migration at first, right?
Okay.
You still migrate to the database, but still you're really not calling out as a production migration yet.
Okay.
So you do a test migration,
okay.
And what DEA is do is you have two environments. One is the source environment here, which represents the A prime you are seeing here, which exactly represents what you have on-prem. Okay. Right, brand new environment, and then you also have a target environment here, and then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be running the whatever the traces that you captured from your original production environment. You are going to be replaying those traces on both prime A and then B environments. Okay. Right? Okay. That way, then you can have a comparative analysis, basically. So then you will have a comparison on how the queries are really ran on the source versus on the target, which queries are really ran better, which queries are really ran, or the performance is got degraded, or which queries are even failed, actually. You can get all that kind of analysis by doing this. So we recommend to do this. And this DEA supports, if you are upgrading to on-premises SQL Server itself, it supports to do the DEA workload replay on it. And then it also supports Target SQL DB, singleton databases, and as well as the Azure SQL Database Managed instance as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it supports all those three different environments. And then you are going to compare. Once you run these traces, and the beauty part is the comparison part, which I'm going to show the demo as well. Right? Let's see this in the action. So again, I'm going back to my demo environment here, and then again, DEA tool is also freely available that you can really download from Microsoft Download Center. And then I already did that for this demo purposes. I kind of installed on my local computer as well. So I'm going to open up the DEA here, Database Experimentation Assistant tool. And then like this, these are the three steps. One is you capture, you replay, and then you analyze the reports. So those are the three different things that you would think of. And then Again, it seems that little resolution, it seems
Yeah, if you hit escape probably. Okay, here we go.
escape.
It sometimes helps. Oh, let's do this. Let's restore this. Restore the side. Restore the next to the cross.
This one?
Bit in middle. Middle.
Yeah, you can take. Yep, okay.
And folks, it's a live show.
Live
That's
show,
what the
yeah,
live show is
so-
all about, folks. So we're just adjusting the resolution here, and so keep your questions coming. For our SMEs who are there.
Yeah, for some reason, the trace and everything is not really helping me out here. I'm see if I can change the resolution of this whole thing to begin with.
No problem.
Yeah, this.
Yes, it has happened to me before.
Yeah, that's okay. So let me see if I have on my local computer.
Of course.
If not, no, I don't. I think I need to relay. So basically, the parts that we are going to be missing here is how to collect the traces. It's very simple operation actually, to be honest with you. You just say that, this is the place where my traces are going to go locally, and then you provide the source SQL Server information and provide the credentials to it. And then you also say whether you are going to be collecting the traces using the old SQL Server profile framework, or you want to use the extended events, depending on which versions that are supported and all that stuff. And then you just you provide the duration, how long that you would really want to collect those traces. Right?
I have an idea. How about we take a 2-3 minute break?
Yeah.
And let's have you try this.
Try this?
Yes,
okay.
folks, we'll take a 3 minute break. We'll be right back, and
Yep.
you'll see a live demo of the traces.
Sounds good.
DEA.